Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the British Tier 9 Premium MemeMachine tank, the Cobra. And if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the Cobra, it is available for free XP currently, for 350,000 free XP. So I thought I'd just do a quick video on it again. I've already done a video on the other Tier 9 Premium that's available, which is the AAT60. This tank costs 350,000 free XP. The AAT60 costs 280,000 free XP, and that's mental because that tank is absolutely insane. And I always love the free XP sales, same as the silver sales or tanks for silver, because it gives you the ability to make your own discount because you'll have some free XP sitting around on your account, so that means that you can get tanks generally cheaper than if it was just sold for gold. And same with the silver ones, you can buy a tank that you can get with the currency you can freely go and grind. So it's always a good time. So I've already got a video on the AAT60 from about 2-3 months ago. I think when it was when I 3 marked it, so you can go check out that video on that tank. I thought I'd do a quick video on this one, and then I can try and get videos out on the other tanks that are available for free XP in the Cold War vehicles and the Tier 10s, because there's quite a few Tier 10s. And I thought, this is the easiest way, and then it gives me a chance, because I never saw the list until too late, it gives me a chance to go out and play them, and then possibly be able to get the replays to show you the vehicles. Also gives me that little bit extra time to get the extra 1 or 2 replays I need to be able to make the on-track series video for the UDES 1516, as that is currently on track as well. But yes, the Cobra, I've talked enough about stuff that we got possibly coming up. The Cobra, it's a meme. It's a meme lord. It's a meme lord tank. Do not take this tank seriously. You will get super frustrated with it and you'll hate every second of it. It's a tank just to have a laugh with. Why? Because Cobra decides when you're going to do well. Quite frankly, it decides when you're going to do well, because the RNG and, well, the general gun handling on this vehicle, to be fair, is absolutely shocking. The gun really is not that great, but it's also the key part of the tank. You don't really have very good view range, you don't really have very good camo, your reload sucks, the strength you have is your clip. And that's because you get 2 types of rounds. We're going to completely disregard the standard HE round because you're never really going to take that. You've got a standard heat round that's got 268 pen, and you've got a premium Hesh round that has 210mm of penetration, and it does 490 alpha, whereas the standard heat round does 360. And the meme is in the Hesh clip. Oh, it's in the Hesh clip, because it's a near 2K Hesh clip, and it's just filth. When it works, it's pure filth. But it has to work, because this gun just says no so often it can be pure pain. Which is why I say this tank is really not actually a very good tank whatsoever, but it's got meme capacity, and you can have an absolute memey time with it, like hitting the shots on that Barask on the move earlier on, hitting a Barask on the move yet again, twice, there you go, shutting him down, because Cobra decides it can hit those shots. Whereas you might see that in the next replay when we have some fully aimed shots at targets that are really close. The tank just goes, yeah, no, I'm going to miss now, and I'm going to make you suffer. And you go, thanks, Cobra. I really wanted that to happen. That's really nice of you, you know? So, with the Cobra, it's got a 40km/h top speed with a 25km/h reverse speed. Very, very good reverse speed for a World War II tank. Top speed is abysmal at 40. 950 horsepower engine is 29.15 horsepower per ton ratio, which means you fly to 40 very easily. You are very easily getting to your top speeds, but you don't go very fast, which is pain. You've got 20% internal fire chance, which means that you do get set on fire pretty easily, and it does happen quite regularly for the Cobra, so it's something you've got to be careful of with this vehicle. 48 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed is very, very quick. It does turn very, very fast. Ground resistances do not hold this tank back whatsoever. 347 meters of still concealment is really not very good. Same as the 368 meters of on the move concealment. The concealment on this vehicle really is not good. You could get it down to a certain point, but it's still not great even when you do help it out. And trust me, this gun needs all the help it can get as opposed to helping the camo. You got 473 meters of view range, which again means you're not the most perfectly sighted 2020 sight lines of a tank. That's why you put the googly eyes on, because, you know, it gives you that 2020 vision, obviously. No, it doesn't. Don't believe me, okay? It doesn't do anything at all. Googly eyes just make the tank look cool, okay? But yeah, you got 473 meters of view range, which again is not great for a tier 9 tank. A lot of the time they've got about 400 base. This thing doesn't. It means it's really got to be helped to get that view range so that you can try and at least spot targets, because a lot of the time you will get outspotted because your camo isn't even that great. You got 53.52 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed as well, which means the turret does turn faster than the tracks, and that's quite a nice thing for the Cobra, although we have helped it to get that. 0.73 accuracy during rotation. Again, it's not good, it's not bad. It sits in that ground where you go, yeah, it's alright. That's okay. When you turn the tank, it doesn't bloom too badly. But you have a 1.82 accuracy during movement, which as soon as you start moving in this tank, yeah, it does end up blooming out a wee bit. Not horrendously, because actually 0.73 and 1.82 isn't atrocious. But the fact is, it blooms out a little bit, and you have a 3.08 second aim time. So even though it doesn't bloom out horrifically like some tanks do, it takes you forever to get this gun aimed in, which can be pain. You've got a 1.5 second intraclip reload on this 4-shot clip as well, which means it does spit the rounds out super quickly. And that is part of the meme with how hard it hits with the clip, if it works with the Hesh, but how fast it also fires. And you're seeing the Cobra in action there with the accuracy, which has 0.31 accuracy at 100 meters, which again isn't the derpiest in the universe, but it just feels absolutely atrocious on this tank. It really does. You've got 10 degrees of gun depression as well, which means you can be very flexible on ridgeline. That's really quite nice for the Cobra. And it's quite where this, to be honest, it's where this tank wants to be. It wants to be on a ridgeline where it can expose its turret, use the 10 degrees of gun depression, occasionally ricochet shots off the turret, because it doesn't have the best turret armor in the universe, but it has enough that you can ricochet shots, just don't rely on it. But use the 10 degrees of gun depression, poke over, and slap the rounds out, as you saw me do against the Standard B, for example. And we've got 40.52 second reload on this clip, which is atrocious. It's so slow, it really is. Once you've fired the clip, it takes forever to reload. But at the same time, it's to balance out the fact that you have a near 2K clip if it works. 268mm of penetration on the standard heat rounds, with 210 penetration on the premium Hesh rounds, and I run full Hesh because that's the memes, with 793 meters per second shell velocity on those Hesh and standard rounds, which is really, really slow and helps to feel this. Well, it helps to make this gun feel atrocious. And you saw that first game, by the way, with the 1825 base XP, the 4.3k damage. I would say that that's probably a fairly accurate representation of the Cobra, in the fact that sometimes the gun works, sometimes the gun doesn't. When you get the chance to actually get those shots in, oh boy, it's filth. But most things hit you, pen you. Most things will just get missed because the gun says no. And it is a super frustrating gun. It really is. That's why this tank is rubbish. Because you don't have very good camo. You don't have good mobility. You don't have good view range. Your gun handling is shocking. What you do have is how fast it pushes out the damage with that 1.5 second intraclip. And then, like I say, the nearly 2,000 damage Hesh clip, which is a thing of beauty when it does work. And trust me, when it does work, it is filth. Because naturally it's Hesh, so it's doing module damage as well, which, yeah, means you are going to likely set people on fire quite often and damage people's fuel tanks like you've just seen against the M46 pattern there. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment on the old Cobra to get the statistics that you've just heard about? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Rapid Aim, Supply Conservation, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, with the Optics, the Gun Stabilizer, and the Gun Laying Drive. Gun Laying Drive to get that aim time down to that 3.08 second aim time, because it's absolutely atrocious, and you really want to try and get this gun aimed in as quickly as you can, so just trying to help that aim time is something you want to try and do, as it is a real frustration with this vehicle. Gun stabilizer to get the accuracy during rotation and movement down as low as possible, so you don't have to, again, so the aim circle doesn't bloom out that badly, and you don't have to sit around for what feels like forever getting this gun aimed in, because the bloom would be worse, which means you would feel the aim time even worse than it already is. And optics to be able to get up to the view range of 473 meters, so that you're at least not completely blind. Oh no, Mr. Hori, that's going to be, oh yeah. That's the Cobra Hesh clip. Although, we didn't get to hit the third shot, the Death Star hit it. But yeah, the optics so that we can get that view range up to that point so that we're not completely blind and we can at least try to spot for ourselves, as it's just something we want to do. All three gun perks to make sure that this gun is as good as possible, because like I said, it is absolutely atrocious if you don't help it. Rapid aim to make the turret traverse faster so that it is faster than the tracks and can get this gun snapped in on target quicker and get aiming. And then supply conservation, just so I can get the food boost back quicker. And the reason I want the food boost back quicker is that does help me with my reload at points and makes me have that extra second or two off if I can get it, and that's why I run that. But there's plenty of other things you could run instead of supply conservation. You could run armor angling to reduce the amount of damage coming into the tank. You could run track mechanic because the tracks get blown off all the time. So if you want to get the tracks back on quicker, if you've already used a repair kit, you can run that. There's plenty of ways you can set up the vehicle. It's really down to you and how you want to kit out the tank and how you feel comfortable playing it. So this second game you're seeing here on this map, I thought my goose was cooked. We're at 2.7k damage with 1,116 assistance damage. We poked over that ridgeline and all of our hit points left us. We were full health. Well, near full health. The M46 patterns snapped us on the move when he was going. But we were near healthy. And we poked over the ridge, went, hello, ow! And all of our hit points left us. And so we're in a very awkward situation now with just under 3k damage and 156 hit points. Which is a sad time for Mr. Cobra. And to be honest, this game is going to be the perfect representation of Cobra. It really is going to be that perfect representation of it, where you've just seen it. We poked, we made a mistake, we lost all our hit points in the blink of an eye because it's very easy to pen. The gun handling is going to be atrocious, but then it's going to decide to be glorious. And memes will occur. So we've got the E75 and the Moisture core out here. We're just waiting for the E75 to possibly give us a better shot, but it doesn't. We go for the low plate shot, hit it for 62 because 210 pen isn't really going to go through. And then the Hesh pen goes through the turret roof of that guy for 500 plus damage. And you sit there going, eh? I was just going for the splash. I'll take it. I'll take it. We're up to 3.4k damage and 2.2k assist because we were spotting those guys as well, which is quite good. Realistically, the only real targets I was truly going to outspot is 2 heavy tanks, and one especially that's a super heavy that's got... Well, neither of them have good camo, right? And we are waiting for our reload, which again is painful because this reload on this tank is terrible, but it naturally balances out the near 2k clip that you can possibly get with the Hesh. But we just sit here going, come on, come on. There we go, 38.2 second reload. And I've got to be careful now. I can't be aggressive. I can't poke too soon because I will just die. And that, yeah, we don't want to do that. So I've just got to keep my eye on the 75 and the Moisture. Hope that maybe they just drive out, giving me the side shots. Well, even if I get the side shots and the Moisture, I'm not going to pen it unless I get the side of his turret. I was really going for the splash into the tracks on that shot on the Moisture. And it was a very chancy shot. I mean, realistically, I was probably not going to do any real damage to it. Probably 60. But I might have blown its tracks off. Who knows? The Foch 155 kills our Death Star, and I know that that Foch is across there, so I've got to be careful. The moment I fire and I get spotted, it's got to be me getting out of dodge, because that Foch will turn and he'll hit us. Because as we know, as we've already seen with the M46 pattern, accuracy in this game at this point, well, I say at this point, since 6.0 realistically, is really frustrating. The fact that most tanks just go, RBRT smash, and hit you on the move. So we don't want that to happen. And so we have to get back as quickly as possible to not die. But I am just sitting watching what is going off. The 50B gets spotted. There's the Foch. Fire the shell. We went for the side of the Foch, we hit the front, and we did 0 damage to that Foch. But the Moisture pokes out, so we get one shot into his side, and I think, wait, what am I trying to do? I should go for the tracks here. So we get the shot into the tracks, track him in the open, and that's the reason I wanted to do it. Because if I tracked him in the open, maybe one of my TDs could get shots into him, but it's sadly not the case. If you're going to boost with food and you're going to boost your reload, wait till you hit about the 33, 32 second mark and then boost with food, and that will knock you below the 30-second mark for your reload, and that'll give you that extra couple of seconds off on the reload. There's the Foch 155, and I was just hoping that maybe he'd stay spotted for that extra little bit longer there for being able to get the shots in. But I feel like he might be reloading now, as he did just dump a clip somewhere. So if someone was to get spotted and poke out, I might have the opportunity to get a clip in without getting killed by him. A Night Stalker is going in on him, which I'm hoping that the Night Stalker will win that. And then we spot a 4005. Oh boy, we get one in 431, 456, 436, 512. I mean, we're up to 5.4k damage. That was a beautiful clip. It's always beautiful when you get to do that. But where were my rolls? 1 for 512, 3 shots for 430 odd. I should have killed that 4005 at one clip, and the game said no, sadly. But we did get a lot of damage on that guy, so, you know, we'll take it. So, I'm going to go help this heavy tank out. Because I feel like this heavy tank, as you can see, the medium tank is currently moving along the J line. I feel like that medium tank is going to push aggressively against the heavy. So I want to sit in a position where I can shoot this guy if he does give me a free shot. So I'm going to sit on the little ridgeline in my bush, aim for the little gap where he could be crossing, just double checking how much health the E75 has. He doesn't have much. We do get the shot in to shut down the E75 though, get immediately detected. So I pull back so I'm not getting hit. The Foch 155 is going in on the E75, and I decide, okay, no, I've got to go. I've got to go to try and get this Foch out, because I can go hull down this ridge, limit the amount of tank he has to shoot, and I can pen him in his little cupola position, his little bar. So we come over slowly, get the aim in, one in for 544. Second one misses. The third one misses. Cobra. Why? Dead. Cobra. That's Cobra. Right there. That is Cobra. We had that guy dead to rights, and Cobra said, yeah, no. And finished with 6,009 damage, 2 kills, the first class, the high caliber, with that 2,234 assistance damage as well. I feel like we possibly could have had that if we'd managed to kill the Foch, because the Leopard was over the other side. But yeah, the game just said no, and so we missed that. Especially the last shot. The last shot, like it was truly destined to go into that Foch 155, and we'd have killed him and won that little engagement. But yeah, the game said, nah, you know what? You're going to die now, and that's the end of your life. And so that was that. And that's the Cobra in a nutshell. That whole game, we had some filthy shots. We got done in pretty quickly, but when we were left to our devices and able to catch people out, like the 4005, our damage went from 0 to 100 very, very quickly. And then when we had easier shots, I'd say the shots on the Foch 155 were far easier shots than on the 4005. And the gun just went, yeah, you know what? Nah, just gonna miss. And you sit there going, okay. Thanks, Cobra. Great thing you did there. But we're on to the third and final replay, and hopefully we can finish on a better note. And on highway, what I'm going to do is come to this little position here so I can spot the cross. We just popped the shot at the Carnarvon because he was pulling back, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get a splash shot on him so I get a little bit of damage out of that Carnarvon. May as well, right? And I think I was streaming at this point, so I was saying that basically we've managed to get a medium tank, a light tank, and then a TD up that A-line. That doesn't happen very often on highway. You very often see tanks try and go across the dip along the A-line and instantly get massacred as they cross the A4 position, because it's really easy to counter tanks going up that A-line. If anyone pushes under the bridge at E5, you can spot them as they cross the A-line quite easily and just shoot them with impunity. And also you spot them for your team, and if you have anyone that sits at C1, D1, they have easy shots at anyone crossing the A-line and they basically die, which is why I never make that cross. It's something that never used to be the case on old highway, and I say old highway because the highway's never really changed. But what did change was the spawns, because back in the day, their whole team would spawn at J2, and our team would spawn basically where we are. But then they changed it. And then they put a load of their tanks spawning at G2. And a load of their tanks spawning at J3. Now that meant that they get to the town quite easily. But they also get the whole 1-2 line very, very easily too. And they get under the bridge really easily. Which makes it so that our team doesn't get across that AB line very easily ever. And it really depends on the enemy team just giving it up for you to be able to take it. Which made the spawns fairly unbalanced, to be perfectly honest, on highway, and caused a bit of the campiness that occurs on this map. By the way, oh my lord, that is an extremely lucky clip against that Minotauro. But oh god, that's filth. That's Cobra, right there. Oh, yeah, that gives you the Hesh-gasm, you know. But yeah, so the highway spawns, I do wish they were back in the other way, because it meant that their team could get to the town. You could have a brawl on that 1-2 line. It was quite a nice fight, but yeah, the changes to the spawns, a long time ago, by the way, basically caused what is a fairly campy nature for highway for our spawn, which is you have to go win the town, and once you've won the town, you go back to your ridgeline at CD9 and camp and wait for their team to push along the AB line. You can counter them quite easily from those ridge lines, and as long as someone sits at A9 as well. But yeah, it's one of those frustrations with highway that I always have. But I digress. We're on 1900 damage. We see Mr. Chow. I'm going to go in on him, and oh boy, that poor bloke. We got 2 shots down on his engine deck that penned him for 500, and we finished him off. We've got 1 shell left, looking for possibly getting that shot into the IS-7. I was aiming between the spaced armor and his tracks there, because there's a little space you can pen an IS-7 with the Hesh rounds. You have to get extremely lucky for it to actually hit that space. We're up to 3.3k damage with 1300 assistance. Mr. Chow has killed, or is about to kill, the IS-7, and in fact the E-100 did it. And we are sitting, waiting for our reload. Mr. Carnarvon is possibly the next chance. We've got to be careful, though, because they still do have quite a few tanks left, and the likelihood is they're possibly sitting across the way at J2, and if they are, that could be painful. But Mr. Carnarvon is a meme that is worthy of going after, because I can clip that guy quite easily by going through his lower plate. The IS-7 snaps a shot straight through him. I'm just going to go over because the IS-7 hasn't been shot. Aim at his lower plate. It doesn't go to where I want it to. Second shot goes underneath. Third shot goes into the lower plate. And the fourth shot finishes him off. That was Cobra. Again, that's Cobra. The first 2 shots that we had there, we had it aimed on the lower plate. The first one hit the upper plate. The second one went straight underneath him. And then 2 hit him and penned him in the lower plate. And there we go. We did end up getting penned by what I expected to be a TD that was at J2. I fully expected that. So I just tried to back up as quickly as possible to get behind this building, stay safe, so I could reload and try and get another clip off into the enemy team. But that's where the 25km/h reverse speed of the Cobra is pretty handy, because it does help you get out of dodge so fast. And it's one of those tanks that you do have that kind of reverse speed. You sit there going, ooh, yeah, that's pretty quick. So we put a shot into the 283 there, get 2 more shots here into the Type 59-2. The first 2 didn't pen him, but the second one did go through his armor there because I made sure I was aimed up. And now we're stuck on this really long reload. There's 2 tanks left in the Iron Rain and the medium tank. And there's the Iron Rain. And this is one of those that we have to sit there going, I'm reloading. Come on, I want... He's there, he's ready to be taking the shots, but this is Cobra. He's still not lost all his... I was fully expecting him to evaporate at this point. And you can see I've got 10 seconds left on this reload, and all of his hit points are starting to disappear. Oh, that's a ramming speed. And Tiny Tom Cruise. Tiny Tom Cruise does it again. Mission Impossible, you know, that's what it was. We finished the game with 4 kills, 5,071 damage, 1867 base experience. Really nice game there for the Cobra, and I hope that this video showed off the Cobra in all of its glory. All the points that are memey, like the shell clip potential, all that sort of stuff. But then also the horrificness of the tank in other ways. It's one that you truly have to pick up to get the memes out of it, but you have to do a lot to get those memes out of it, and a lot of people will be frustrated by it, to be quite fair. And you can get the AT60 as well. It's 280,000 for XP, and that tank's mental. But there we go. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!